So we had our pal Eric Williams of the News Tribune on Bob and Groz Tuesday's show, and he talked about people. He used a phrase I always like, the haterade. Drinking the haterade on Marcus Trufant. Now, I'm not going to say you're drinking the haterade, Bob, but you've been fairly critical, and a lot of people have been fairly critical of how Marcus Trufant is playing. And Eric's point of view was, and I've got to admit I'm a neutral on it, I mean I haven't felt strongly one way or the other, is he thinks Trufant has actually been making some pretty good plays. Yeah, there have been some that have popped up where he's gotten victimized a little bit, but should be expected with the other two guys at corners. Yet I know you don't agree with that.
No, I just feel like he's a liability of sorts. I don't feel like he's the player, and I'm not making a bold statement here, he's not close to the same player he used to be, and I feel like we've seen him get abused here and there, and Devon Bess with the Miami Dolphins and that quarterback out there, able to kind of pick him apart. You've seen it in different games where he just doesn't look to be, he seems to be targeted. There's a reason the opposition is targeting him as much as they are. That's their best chance. He's their best chance. So I just don't feel as confident as I do even with Lane out there. I felt like Lane kind of stepped in and did a decent job, and I would feel much better with him on the slot receiver than I do with Trufant. Trufant's clearly got the experience, and he can contribute in that sense in terms of just being a calming presence there, especially in a playoff game. But I feel like he's a target. You're talking about an Atlanta Falcons team with all of those weapons. I feel like you could be looking at a long day for him.
You know, again, it hasn't jumped out at me. I mean, sometimes you see a guy give up a play or two, and especially at that position, well, he's having a terrible game. I mean, look at him. He gave up that play, and that does happen. Marcus obviously is not the player that he was. It's interesting to me, I guess, and I'm just trying to take in more what people are saying, and Pete Carroll talking about it too, is a guy who still feels fairly confident in it. On the other hand, I happen to agree with what you said about Lane. I think he's stepped in and been a big-time player for this crew. And look, I've already said to you that I think one of the keys for the Seahawks in defending Atlanta in this game is going to be call it the slot. I mean, that middle part of the field and the passing game that they're going to conduct in the middle part of the field. So I think Trufant, Lane, whoever it is, are key players. I mean, they're going to be a real key element of what they're going to do pass defense-wise. So if Trufant isn't really playing well, I think it's going to be exposed pretty quickly. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be in time. You know, you know what I mean? But
you don't want him to be exposed.
I know you don't. But I don't know that I've seen it yet. I don't know if I have the same level of concern, though. Now you've given me something to worry about. So,
we don't want to walk away from that game going, you're right, boy, he wasn't good.
Yeah,
that's not the reaction we want.
So, Marcus, how about just turning back the hands of time and playing like the old days?